install this piece of software on there, and on the back end, which provides the hosting, it all meets the criteria of HIPAA in terms of, one, you'll hear a lot of terms. Is it secure? Is it SSL encrypted? And so we offer everything from 128 to 256-bit encryption. And what that means is when you're on a bank and you look up, let's say you're on a website for a bank or wherever you're logging in sensitive information, you look on the little corner, you see a little, it's like a certificate. It'll say secure HTTPS. That generally means that you're secure as much as you can be, so that data can transfer, whether it's moving money from a checking account to logging in and putting sensitive information like social security number, your taxes on or something. It's all secure. So voice and video, it's kind of hard nowadays. How do you encrypt all that? So obviously, if you have a system in place, whether it's you'll hear Cisco, you'll hear Polycom, Avaya, ShoreTel, they're all systems. PBX phone system that companies use nowadays: small, medium, large, enterprise, government sector, public sector, private. And so with video, we want to provide that same comfort level of security and functionality cross-platform. And so what we did is we looked around at different agencies and companies that were using it, did our due diligence. We partnered with Polycom. Polycom right now, they've reached out, for example, in South Carolina, Telepsychiatry down there, they've recently saved around, I want to say it's over $21 million in savings, because the average footprint for having some patients be seen, I think they don't, share, I'm going to quote me on this, I think it was down to, I had some notes, they had it down to, I believe, each patient visit, consult, they had down around $1,700. Previously it was, well, math is extremely higher because they saved them $21 over a 3-year plan.
Yeah.
So the way they did that is you might have, and then Arizona did a study on this as well. So what they did is they had rural areas that had a lot of Native Americans, and so they had kind of a community healthcare buildings and clinics.
They have actually a place on the reservation.
So they have those sites that go there, patients can come in. Well, that physician be in network, for example, may not be in that building. They may be at another location. They kind of share the same resources.
They're not going to have a psychiatrist there.
Right, you guys would know more than I would, but I can tell you right now, from being mobile, being able to have flexibility to connect with those physicians, it's huge. So what happens is, I've been a security officer and I'm a structure director for healthcare companies. So I work with TPAs, health, insurance side, as well as physicians. Everybody hears HIPAA, they get scared. I've worked with audits for URAC. Personally, I'm a CHP, so I've had to deal with regulatory compliance issues all the time. Whether it's me standing here and turning my back, and you have access to seeing the screen on my computer. Simple things down to the security of your data, especially voice and video we're talking about today. And one of the things that we found is if you can give somebody a secure way of connecting, and if you're a physician, I'm not promoting texting and driving, but if you're in a car, you can pull over, that physician can actually get on a simple cell phone. So what I wanted to show you today is, this is a Mac.
Yeah, we see that, yeah.
So I've got also.
But your company just has the software.
No, we have the infrastructure. So we partner with Poly. That's the thing. I can sell you hardware all day long if you want to buy the bulk, but a lot of agencies, they don't have the same type of budgets, let alone some grant programs, right? We work with state agencies. I heard you mentioned also for penitentiary systems for healthcare. We also provide what's called a funeral service we're working with the Department of Corrections in Ohio, where inmates also, they need to attend family functions like funeral. There's flight risk there, right? Not only transport dollars, it's just
there's a big one in Mexico right now. Where were you?
Wasn't my shift. But what's nice about that is we provided an infrastructure. It means that the state now actually has the ability to have a funeral program where an inmate can, for up to 2 hours, be able to attend a family service, safe, secure, personal, private, inside of a cell, and want to boost morale. It's also a disciplinary tool. They can take that away and say, well, you lost a privilege. So you're starting to see more and more and more cases where technology is being used for a lot of different things that, again, it's so new nowadays. Like I said, when high tech got put in place in '09, This is scratching the surface. Technology takes, the consumer market, you have video, you've got drones. My brother bought a $1,200 drone. It's got a full HD camera, and you can fly it around and get beautiful pictures.
He needs a ham operator license though.
That's true. Well,
My nephew's getting one.
well, that's the thing. You talked about having, can you have technology work on an aircraft, like a helicopter, emergency services units, they have all types of transport. At the end of the day, you got to be flexible. And so what, something like this where we've got it's the Surface Pro 3, it's basically a laptop, it's a tablet. And then you've got a Mac. The nice thing about using these is they are ultra flexible. So the ability is I can stand here today and connect from a laptop, find my physician, let's say I don't have the hardware. You can put in these systems to have a lot of hardware bulk. Sometimes you may just have what's in your personal pocket, especially a planned event. It's great, but most time, disasters, they're not planned, so you kind of have to adapt. So if you have the building, the resources, you can get your staff, your personnel, patients to a building that you've got listed in a procedural way. This is what we do. Hit number 4. Now we have the ability to turn up, patient services, and that's great. But sometimes you may not be able to get to that building. You might have down road, power lines. If it's an earthquake, you might have just no road left. And so the only way to really administer that is to kind of triage something temporarily. So you might have maybe kind of like going back to a MASH tent, right? Be able to pull the tent, be able to secure yourself. And we've had some cases where you're just looking at trying to create a separate private area for your patient. And again, there's always compliance. You got to make sure they have the types of consent taken care of. But they may not have all the hardware available. But if you've got a cell phone, you can simply download the app, connect to your infrastructure, and you can send this out through email or text. And what it would do is it would basically allow me. So this is kind of 2 laptops connected. I can easily connect from a phone securely. So what's nice about this is it's secure. I can authenticate it. You send out a password saying it's the only way you can password protect it. Works the same on an iPad, Android, so it's agnostic.
So it's both.
Yeah, it's agnostic to the hardware. Like I said, not every county is going to have the devices. Now, in larger healthcare institutes, like the Ohio State, you're going to have an infrastructure that's in place that not only, the nice thing about this is you can use it planned. So you can have group meetings and actually, a video conference room. But you can also use this out in the field in a mass emergency scenario, or maybe you're in an area where, again, maybe you've got a child that's really just not able to be transported and needs to see some type of special consult. You can have that preliminary done at an